What's up? It's Ben from WODprep, and in this video, I'm going to give you a quick step-by-step tutorial or progression how you can learn handstand push-ups. So if you're trying to learn how to do RX handstand push-ups, whether that be kipping or strict, this is a video that's going to help you develop the strength and body position to make it happen. So the number one most important aspect of doing a handstand push-up is you need to have shoulder strength. And oftentimes people will try to kick up against the wall and kip and flail and do whatever they can when they don't even have enough strength to press overhead. So that's what we're going to practice first. Ideally, the goal is to be able to strict press our body weight or more. Now, that is kind of crazy. That'd be very difficult for a lot of people. But the closer you can get to being able to strict press a barbell overhead, the closer you can get to your body weight, the easier it's going to be. So there's a couple things you can do. You can lose weight and stay the same strength, or you can gain strength, stay the same weight, and then obviously handstand push-ups are going to be easier. That's obviously easier said than done. But one drill using minimal equipment that I want you to practice is something called the seated dumbbell press, or some people call it the Z press. And all that is I'm taking dumbbells. Usually we like to sit down, try to keep our core nice and tight and torso vertical. And then all we're going to do is take these dumbbells, and I'm going to press overhead, lock it out, and then nice and controlled come back down. I want you to use a weight where you can only get maybe 6 to 8 of these done at a time, really trying to focus on up and then nice slow tempo down. Your goal is to develop range of motion through this movement. Even better if you develop strength here, because the lowest point of your handstand push-up when you're up against the wall, that's the hardest part. So the goal is to spend time under tension, getting stronger, pressing overhead. You'll notice that when I'm in this position, when I lock out, it's very similar to me being upside down, doing handstand push-ups against the wall. So that's the first drill I want you to practice. All you need are 2 dumbbells, or you could use 1 barbell, or you can use 2 kettlebells. Bottom line is it needs to be a heavy weight that you can't do more than about 8 reps, because once you get to more than that, you're not quite developing the same amount of raw strength. So we want to make sure we just do a few sets, 6 to 8 reps, nice heavy dumbbells, really working to get that lockout with a nice slow tempo coming back down. After practicing some of those seated dumbbell presses, the next thing I want you to do is kick up on the wall, and we're going to do something called a handstand push-up negative. So a negative is simply where I'm kicking up onto the wall and lowering myself down into the bottom of a handstand and then relaxing. Obviously, if you can't kick up onto the wall, there's other videos that we have that teach you specifically how to do that. So you might want to go watch those. If you're too afraid or you haven't quite kicked up against the wall, this isn't the video for you. Go check out those other videos. But if you can kick up onto the wall, place an ab mat or something like that underneath where your head's going to be. I want you to kick up against the wall. And then your goal is to lower yourself down nice and slow with tempo. Maybe count to 5. Once your head touches the mat, you relax and drop back down. We're going to practice those because what that's doing is that slow, nice and steady, controlled tempo all the way down until our head touches the mat. That is also going to be developing strength in that handstand push-up position. So this is a great drill because you're actually in the exact position that you would need to do a handstand push-up. So again, I kick up, lock it out. You could do some holds up here if you wanted to. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Touch your head and then come safely back down to the ground. If this is too difficult, we can always adjust up or down with the mat. So let's say one ab mat is too difficult, you find yourself lowering and then you're just not strong enough and you can't control yourself back down. That's not good for your neck. We don't want that. If you're worried you're not going to be able to control yourself down, all you need to do is start adding more mats. This is a Yearland mat that I happen to have laying around, or you could stack a couple ab mats. But all I'm doing now is I'm decreasing the range of motion. So I've made the mat higher. Now you'll see when I kick up, I have less range of motion. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I didn't have to go down quite as far. If that's too hard, yeah, stack another mat or add a couple plates underneath that mat. You reduce the range of motion until you get the stimulus that you want. which is a nice, slow, controlled, all the way throughout, 5 or 6 second lowering phase down into the bottom. I want you to practice several reps like that, start integrating this into your training, and I promise you it's gonna get you stronger for that overhead press. Hey, if you're watching this video, you might be interested in getting better at CrossFit style gymnastics. Well, here at WODprep, we have an accessory program called WPX Gymnastics. And for $9 per month, you can get access to accessory programming that you can easily add into your normal training. So even if you go to a CrossFit gym already and you follow their programming, you can add WPX as a cherry on top and level up your gymnastic success. We have a beginner track and an advanced track. So no matter where you are on your CrossFit gymnastics journey, we can help you level up, and it barely takes any time. It's 3 sessions per week, about 30 minutes per session, and it will fast track your gymnastic success. Go to the link on the screen or click the link in the description to join WPX Gymnastics and level up your CrossFit gymnastic skills. Once we practice the lowering phase of the handstand push-up, now it's time to actually practice reduced range of motion handstand push-ups. So rather than saying, okay, I think I'm strong enough and kicking the mats away, I want you to start by practicing strict handstand push-ups to a smaller range of motion. So again, maybe I have 3 mats stacked, 4 mats, whatever. You could even practice like this. Okay, that's fine. But ideally, we want to have a little bit of range of motion to truly practice the movement. So you can see here, I have both of those mats stacked. I'm going to kick up, lower down, touch my head, and then lock it back out. We're going to practice until you're good at doing strict handstand push-ups to a reduced range of motion. Okay, so that's a scaled handstand push-up. Then you can always take a mat away. Now I've increased the range of motion by a few inches. Same exact thing. You'll notice that when I do my handstand push-ups here, it's a lot longer down. Wow, that's way harder and harder to press back up. So what's cool about that is it's infinitely scalable. You can stack mats as high or as low as you want. And then eventually, ideally, you're removing the mat altogether. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing handstand push-up practice on a hard surface, but I could take the mat and maybe go like that. And now my hands and head are even. And now I'm practicing handstand push-ups as RX. So that was a simple, super oversimplified version of a handstand push-up progression. We worked on strengthening the muscles required to do a handstand push-ups, which is practicing that seated dumbbell press. We practiced the core strength and the body positioning of kicking up on the wall and lowering ourselves down, which is going to develop strength throughout that full range of motion of the handstand push-up. And then we practice actually doing handstand push-ups, keeping our core and glutes nice and tight, and changing and modifying, scaling the distance at which we do them. Handstand push-ups are a super great drill to practice because they're relatively scalable. You can scale them a million different ways. I can have the range of motion a couple inches, or I can even do a deficit where I'm going below parallel or below my hands by stacking plates on either side and having my head go below where my hands are. So with this infinite scalability, handstand push-ups are a great, easy thing to practice. You need minimal equipment, just a wall and something to put your hands on, and maybe if you're doing the dumbbell presses, a couple dumbbells. If you want a full step-by-step breakdown of how to do handstand push-ups, I have a free guide. If you just go to WODprep.com/HSPU, you can enter your name and email and download that for free. Or if you want a full training series, 8 weeks of step-by-step programming that's way more developed and in-depth than this, I guarantee it will help you learn handstand push-ups. It's called Handstand Push-Up Power, and it's going to teach you how to do strict and kipping handstand push-ups or your money back. I'll include a link to that below, or if you want to get all of the WODprep courses together, that's our best deal possible, join WODprep Academy, where you'll get access to Handstand Push-Up Power and all of our other training courses, including all the gymnastics and weightlifting and running and engine, all the CrossFit movements you could possibly think of are inside WODprep Academy for one low annual fee. So go check out the links below. You can either get a free guide, you can buy the course, or you can buy the Academy, and I promise you will start RXing handstand push-ups. Peace. Did you know that if you hit the subscribe button, you could win $10 billion? No, I'm just kidding. That's a complete lie. But I would really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button. Maybe even gave me a thumbs up, because that helps WODprep get more views on this channel. Thank you so much. Smash the subscribe button thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.